everyone, this lesson is about strong ways to say no. A lot of people are scared of that word of saying no, so they want to know, how can I say it politely, or how can I not offend someone when I say no? And this lesson is not about that. This lesson is how to say no when you really mean it, because sometimes we do need to say no. It's an important word and we need to say it so that people respect us when we say no. So I've got some different examples of situations where we might say no and different examples of language we can use. So the first example here is a situation where somebody asks for your number, and I'm imagining a situation where you don't want to give your number to that person. They're hassling you. You're not attracted to them. You don't like them. You definitely don't want to give them your number. Here are some things people say. First, a very common response is, sorry, I've got a boyfriend. And people might say that because they think, if I say I've got a boyfriend, then that's why I can't give you my number. I would if I could, but I've already got a boyfriend, so that's why I can't give it to you. But in my opinion, this is not a strong enough no. So I'm going to cross that one out. Whether it's true or not, you've got a boyfriend or you haven't got a boyfriend, if you don't want to give that person your number, use something a bit stronger and don't worry about hurting their feelings in this situation if they're hassling you. So you could be more blunt. Blunt is another way of saying more direct. You can say, I'm not interested. Or you could say, not going to happen. No, not going to happen. This is not standard English. This is slang. The way we would actually say it. We wouldn't say not going to happen because it's not as fierce. So we shorten it to say not going to happen. Or you could say not in a million years. This is so impossible and so unlikely for you to ask for my number. The only thing I can say is not in a million years. You can keep asking me again and again and again for a million years, and the answer is going to be no. You could say no chance. No chance. And that means you have no chance with me. No chance. No chance. If the person who wants your number is coming on really strong, like it won't go away, a lot of hassle, you can then say, how many times do I have to tell you? You're getting more serious. You're saying it more like you mean it now because you want this person to leave you alone. A similar kind of strength of no for that situation is to say, what part of no don't you understand? I've said no to you already. This is the final straw. You're really getting on my nerves now. What part of no don't you understand? This is like suggesting the other person is a bit stupid as well. Don't you understand no? And the last two, imagine if that person's really hassling you. Leave me alone or go away. Now it is a little bit hard in the sense that when we do get more direct and aggressive, we have to be careful in a sense as well, because with some people this will work when you shout at them like, leave me alone, go away. If the way you say it is so strong and there's a lot of power in your words, it can scare a lot of people off. There you go. But some people react to aggression in the way you say things. So if you shouted at them, leave me alone, they might be like, what's your problem? Or something like that. So you always have to judge in the situation. Is it safe to use aggression with this person? It's safe to say no, but you have to decide how strong you can be. Next situation where you want to say no is somebody wants to borrow money from you. It's a friend, and you don't want to lend money to this person because they asked you before and they never paid you back. So they want to borrow £50 now, or 50 quid is the slang way to say pounds in London. Can I borrow 50 quid? And you don't want to give them more because they've already got 50 quid of yours they didn't pay back last time. So you could say to them, are you serious? I can't believe you're asking me. Are you joking? You've asked me for something that's so shocking because you already owe me 50 quid. All I can say is, are you joking? Is this a joke? We can also use no chance. We used it before to make that person go away. But this time we're explaining why. We're adding a sentence. We're saying, no chance. You didn't pay me back last time. So really it's your fault. No chance. Sorry, not this time. Then we have not on your Nelly and not on your life. This one, you're not really going to ever hear it around. It's a sort of Cockney kind of idiom. So you probably won't ever hear that, but I thought it was good to include because it means basically the same thing as not on your life. And it's also very similar to no chance. It's like saying, it's really like saying, this is your fault, really. I'm not going to lend it to you because I remember what happened last time. Okay, now we've got some more examples coming up. Okay, our next situation where we want to say no is when some dodgy person calls you up on the phone and says, you have won $1 million. All you need to do is give me your password and bank details and we'll pay that $1 million in straight away. So if you feel a little bit suspicious about this phone call, you don't believe it, you don't trust it, what can you say? Under no circumstances will I give you my password. This way of saying no is more formal than a lot of the other examples we've looked at so far. So F for formal. Excuse me, on no account will I be giving you my bank details. Also quite formal. Then, sure, I'll give you my password when pigs might fly. So in a way, I'm not sure if someone would use an idiom in that situation. If you're actually angry that somebody wants to rob you and take all the money from your bank account, maybe you wouldn't use an idiom like this. But when we say when pigs fly or when pigs might fly, it means when the impossible thing happens. So I'll give you my password, but only when it's so impossible, when pigs are flying. So we're saying yes, but we're saying no at the same time. I'm going to put idiom here for this one. This is another idiom. You've got a snowball's chance in hell. We could add on mate there. You've got a snowball's chance in hell, mate. So a snowball is a very cold thing. Hell is a very hot place. You put it together, the snowball is not going to last a long time. It's all going to melt. So if we think about the person who wants the password from you, in the same way, the snowball will not last long in hell. It will melt. It's impossible. You will get this password from me. No, it's not going to happen. No way. And another idiom you can say is, do you think I was born yesterday? Somebody who was born yesterday is very naive, like a baby, and you can trick them very easily. So if this person calling you thinks they must think you were born yesterday to be asking you this, because you're not stupid and you know this person is trying to steal your money. You weren't born yesterday, but that person must have been, because they think you're stupid to ask. Obviously, you know they're just trying to get your money. Okay, so now let's look at a different situation. This situation is when a teenager wants to go out. Let's say the teenager really wants to go clubbing on a school night. And I'm thinking, well, maybe they wouldn't necessarily tell their parents if that's what they want to do. But in this example, they are. So they say to their mum or their dad, say, oh, can I go to the club tonight? Is that going to be okay? And this is what their parent or parents would say back to them. No way, Jose. Okay, that is an expression, but to be honest, I don't really hear it a lot. It's a little bit jokey, and you maybe say that if you wanted somebody to laugh in the way that you said no. It's not a very common one. Next one is don't even go there. That means it's when it says don't even go there, it's not talking about go to the club, as in go to that place. It's saying finish talking about this. Don't go there, in the sense of talking about this thing, because it's so no. Don't even go there. And it's very informal kind of slang English as well. Fat chance of that. Also impossible. And it sounds like quite final language. If you say fat chance to someone, it's not really something they can argue back about. Fat chance. End of conversation. End of story. Absolutely not. If we use absolutely here, it makes our no so much bigger. We give more emphasis to our no. And also, absolutely is it tends to be used by sort of more posh people in England. So this kind of parent saying absolutely not is a little bit formal, and maybe a bit of a posh person as well. It's different to these other examples and the kind of person who would say it. Sometimes when you want to add authority and power to your no, sometimes you can use the person's name. So let's say the teenager is called Isabel. Isabel, that's out of the question. When something is out of the question, it's not a possibility. We can't talk about this. Why are you even asking me? And the last example here is for those kind of parents who don't like to say no themselves and don't like to be the disciplinarian or the one with the authority. They could just say, ask your father. So that really they want to say no themselves, but they can't. So they say, ask your father. So this one also doesn't count because this is not saying no yourself like the other examples. So if you learn these ways to say no, you can be more assertive when you say no. You can say no with more power than before, and people will listen to you. I also have a similar lesson that's to do with using our words with more strength and more power that I recommend you watch now. It's on submissive language. And I also have a quiz for you to do on this lesson. Thank you so much for watching and join me again soon. Bye.